Welcome back, everybody. I mentioned last night about the word Bodhisattva. How many people are familiar with that word? Okay. Well, that's pretty many. So I won't have to say too much. um, these four measurables are practices for us to, how can I say this, pursue being a bodhisattva. So, and I also mentioned last night that whereas shamatha and vipassana help us to see how we're not separate and see how reality really is, we can feel into it through the four immeasurables. And that's why it's so nice to go back and forth between them. There's what I call the round robin. And we will be doing a round robin shortly. By that, I mean, we start with taking a moment to get down to our true altruistic motivations. And then we do something called the cleansing of the stale winds. How many people are familiar with that? Not so many. So you have homework if you aren't familiar with it. It works with the three main channels, one in the center of the spine and one on either side. And the saying is that the mind rides on the energies, and the energies are sort of guided through the channels. So if the channels are blocked, the energies aren't going to flow well. And if the energies don't flow well, then the mind can't flow well. And there are sort of two versions of the energies. There are the karmic ones that just are sort of all wrapped up in samsaric thinking. And then there are the pure ones that arise just from the ground being naturally. And so if we clear away, that's why it's called clearing the stale winds. If we clear away and stale is a nice way of saying it. Ro is the Tibetan word for it, which means corpse. So we clear away the karmic winds, shall we say, and nature, of course, is a vacuum. So once we clear those away, the pure winds or energies naturally arise in the channels and fill them, and so that affects how our minds go then in that session. And it's just this brilliant bit of technology that takes only like 30 seconds and you feel completely different. So there is a recording of me teaching this, and that will be your homework either at lunch, if you can squeeze that in, or this evening, so that when we do the clearing of the stale winds, which I'll quickly talk you through, you won't be confused and you can really go for it and do it. And as you get better at it, it becomes second nature, and you can really use that practice to do that clearing away of the static and settling into good meditation. And I've tested it actually with a device that you can use to see if you're in alpha waves and brain waves. And so with biofeedback, I found when I didn't do the practice versus when I did that practice, my meditation was just smooth, staying in alpha the whole time. When I, settled in with the Lungro, it's called in Tibetan, the cleansing of the stale winds. And when I didn't do it, it was kind of spotty, sometimes in, sometimes out. So it makes a big difference. Going back to something I was saying last night, these four immeasurables are like four entryways into feeling deeply and vastly connected. And I think you got a taste of that experientially last night. So that's going to be an overall feature of any of these four immeasurables. You start with yourself, and so you get to have sympathetic joy for yourself very soon. And you can have it now too. but part of the practice is you have sympathetic joy for yourself. You'll pick a theme, pick something you're happy about these days, or that recently enough happened that you could feel that feeling, and just let yourself enjoy it. Enjoy the pleasure of feeling happy. So again, if we care for somebody, we naturally feel happy for them when they're happy, and so um, that includes us. Sometimes that's a bit of a stretch for some of us. That's okay. We're all about stretching ourselves while we're cooking. So, um, just work with yourself, have compassion for yourself, and hopefully you'll make progress. Remember, Gong means getting used to, and Yanglin means gaining experience. So, through experience, we become used to these states and can live into them more and more fully. So, again, we start with a, a theme. I like to always pick a theme. Very important to get specific with these practices. If it's all very general, you don't feel much of anything. So pick something you really care about, and you're happy about such and such, and really feel it. Be specific. Sit with yourself in that, and just enjoy it. And now you think, well, I know so and so, and they also have had a similar experience, and when they had that experience, I can just feel so happy for them. And remember, it doesn't matter when it happened because time is not actually linear. We just experience it that way because of our fixation. We just enjoy with them, right? They're sitting there being happy, and we're happy right along with them. We're happy for them. And then we go to the next person and the next, and then we pick more people, and then it, expands. We take these concentric circles and expand them out until eventually we can think, well, everybody's been happy about something similar at some point. And so right now, I'm happy for everyone. So this again is the same pattern that we did with Lin, starting with ourselves, going to those we easily care about. Then we'll go further out. Maybe we don't have that much of a relationship with them, but we're, still feeling happy for them. It's time, we've gotten it going, and we're going to expand it out. And the object of the exercise is to feel as strongly happy for everyone as we feel for our favorites. And that's not something we tend to do easily, but that's why we practice. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama is a beautiful example of that. I had a chance to watch him at the end of this wonderful retreat with high school students working on um, activism, and they were starting these small groups, and then they were going to go out and do their thing and then come back together in a year to see how everybody did and have a chance to connect with each other and celebrate together. Well, it was just such a lovely weekend, and at the end of it, His Holiness hugged every one of the 300 students there. They all lined up, and by the way, some of us who were also there got a hug. And he was just as warm and effusive and genuine with every single person. So, and I understand that when he travels, as he's leaving the hotel, everybody who works in the hotel lines up. His people know the routine, and he always wants to say goodbye to everybody, and so they line up everybody, and everybody is so happy, and they get a hug, each one of them. So our goal is to feel just as much compassion, uh, loving kindness, sympathetic joy for everyone as for our favorite people. And obviously, if we're practicing, preference, and we just feel it for our favorite people, that's not what this sympathetic joy or any of the boundless qualities is about. It's about expanding your circle to include all and everyone. And imagine if everyone in the world did this. Remember what we were saying about us, them thinking last night. So if everybody becomes us, then we aren't processing with just the one part of our brain that has to do with us. We're processing everyone with that part of the brain and not reserving the them part for, the people we've decided is them. I think that's a huge secret sauce, like kind of thing, for how we could get past us them thinking. We can't change the structure of our brains, but we can change how we use them. And these exercises, these practices help us to do that so that eventually we feel sympathetic joy for everyone. Now, I wouldn't pick as an example for practicing sympathetic joy when somebody's just murdered somebody, right? Or done something else detrimental to a fellow sentient being, because we are practicing equanimity with all of these practices. So it's more the kinds of examples that I've given, somebody seeing their relatives after a long time, or, getting their chance to shine like that lady on Britain's Got Talent. There are lots of things that we can celebrate with people and think about. So I wanted to give that a little bit of a clarification. So getting back to the round robin, we get down to our altruistic motivation in that particular moment, because it changes. Then we do the cleansing of the stale winds. Then we do shamatha. And how many people know how to have some construction with shamatha? Okay, a lot of you. Good. I will talk you through it, but we'll just do a very simple, short shamatha. And then the round robin part becomes obvious, because then we'll do sympathetic joy in this case. And then we'll go back to shamatha and do something called dedicating the merit. So after you have done a session, you don't just like get up and wander off. You want to seal the session in altruism, just as you began it with altruism. So there's like this bookends kind of effect. And we have written one in the back of your journal, and we can use that. What we're doing is two things. You're dedicating the positive karma from having made these efforts. We're dedicating it to the waking up out of samsara of all beings, which is an ultimate thing to, dedicate your merit toward. One reason we dedicate the merit right away at the end is because if we just keep it, then the next time we get mad or, do something that's really negative karma, swat a fly, whatever it is, we undo a lot of the merit that we just gained. But the sort of loophole, the karmic loophole, is that if we've already dedicated that merit, then we've already given it away, so it can't be taken away. And it adds to the merit by dedicating it. So this is how Tibetans think of it. So something just to consider. And then we make aspirational prayers as well, because we hope that everybody wakes up out of samsara, because we don't want anybody to be stuck in this whirlpool of samsara going around and around.